Hello everybody, welcome back to my movie review series. Today we'll be discussing Joy. Just finished watching it, and I have seen this one before. You know how we do it. I will give you my overall impressions and grade after reading the overview as provided by Google. Provide some logistics about the movie, any other rating systems, and past that I'll give you my grade, and after that you're going to shut off the video if you want to watch it based or not based on my recommendation. There'll be plot synopsis and character development with spoiler alerts. Similar movies, major themes, maybe some business major themes, family stuff I guess. But we have a story of a family across 4 generations, centered on the girl who becomes the woman who founds a business dynasty and becomes a matriarch in her own right. Facing betrayal, treachery, loss of innocence, and the scars of love, Joy becomes a true boss of family and enterprise in a world of unforgiving commerce. Allies become adversaries and adversaries become allies, both inside and outside the family, as Joy's inner life and fierce imagination carry her through the storm she faces. At its $60 million budget, did $101 million at the box office. It had 68% liked it on Google. We'll round that up to 69. Nice. 56% on Metacritic. We have 60% liked it on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb. Why to watch? Google says fascinating, charming, and introspective. You can watch it for free on Prime Video. That's what I watched it on. 2 hours and 4 minutes. Drama/comedy, released in 2015, rated PG-13. Starring Jennifer Lawrence and Robert De Niro. So overall, what did I think? I enjoyed it. I like this one. I thought it did a good job of the family dynamic again. There's the first 30 minutes I thought were slow in terms of again, just like family insecurity, but just the relationship of this one I just thought was more like upbeat and fun. So it's like not too many spoilers yet. Like like Joy and her husband are divorced, and her dad's living there, or comes to live there. The family's kind of hectic, but it's just like it's more of a feel-good kind of tone to the family dynamic, as opposed to something where it's supposed to be like gripping emotionally. So overall, past that, I thought it was entertaining and a good, realistic type of business story. It didn't seem to be. It said it was loosely based on somebody else's life, but I just thought it was a good fiction story of redemption and just starting a business. So overall, I was thoroughly entertained with it. I really liked the tone of this one. I thought it was playful and fun. And I remember liking it better the first time I watched it. Not like way worse the second time, but I've been rewatching movies now for I don't know. goodness gracious. Well, regardless, B+. I thought it was thoroughly entertaining. Had a good tone to it. I thought Jennifer Lawrence did a good job. I thought she was very convincing in her actress role that one. And obviously, I know Jennifer Lawrence is everywhere. Really liked her in the Hunger Games. Which I did see they're revamping that with Rachel, or not revamping it, but coming out with another one with Rachel Ziegler in there. So I really liked her from A West Side Story. She was definitely pretty. So got some good movies coming out. We got Equalizer 3 coming with Denzel's Washington's, and then we got some other stuff. But regardless, past that, you want to shut off this video now because there will be spoilers discussing the movie Joy. So the movie opens up. I'm not sure the exact opening scenes. But you have Joy, she's living, her husband lives with her in the basement, her ex-husband, Tony Moraine. I don't even have him up here. But Tony, so her and Joy are divorced. Oh, that's a liar, all right. Yeah, but he's living in the basement. Joy is working as a airline receptionist, struggling to keep up with the bills. She has got 2 kids, or at least 1 kid at this point. She has a daughter. Again, her dad comes back to live with her because he breaks up with his girlfriend, and her dad's again like 60. They also have the grandma living there, Mimi. And again, Mimi has a good relationship with Joy, or like very think she's going to be it's loosely narrated by the grandma. There's not much narration, but it's kind of told from the grandma's narration for a little bit. And then she's got a stepsister, Peggy, as well as the mother. I think her name is, where's her name? I don't know, but they have a mother in there as well. And she's like, she's not like disabled, she's just like a recluse. She just like stays in her bed and watches soap operas all day. So I guess the opening scene is like the mother, like the scene from the soap opera that the mother really likes to watch. So that's kind of the family dynamic. And you start off by, again, Joy's just struggling. There's when Rudy comes back, her father, and sees the mother, they argue a little bit. He breaks some stuff, but again, not in like a tense, emotional, like, oh, I'm gonna break stuff. Just like, oh, kind of more like jovial tone in the background. Oh, you don't think I will break this stuff or I'm snapping? How about this for snapping? Then Robert De Niro's character, knocks over some stuff. And right after that, apologizes and tries to help clean up. So again, there's some insecurity in the first 30 minutes of the movie. If there wasn't as much the family dynamic, I thought the beginning was a little slower. Probably would have been an A- for me. For like just the business story developing. But that's what's going on. And so Joy had been, you have some flashback scenes of her with her childhood friend Jackie, and Joy was the valedictorian of her high school and was going to go on to accomplish some things. They have scenes of her building stuff with just like paper, as a young child and inventing things. And so you get some more background again about how her and Tony met. Tony was a singer with his father, and Jackie had taken Joy to a dance class that was held in their home. And Tony and Joy meet and talk a little bit about their goals and their aspirations. And then you fast forward to the wedding, and Rudy's not super excited about Joy marrying Tony, and gives a nice speech at the ceremony after cutting off Tony's parents, and is like, I'll give this 50-50 shot, and says it was like a fucking wreck or something. So again, I'm not sure the F word rule for movie grades, but I think you could say it once or something. But that's when Rudy says something with fuck in it, and it's like, these people are going to have a 50% chance of making it. And so past that, now Joy kind of about 30 minutes into the movie, Joy wakes up one day, and literally her ex-husband and her dad are living in the basement, and she wakes up and just is decided to make moves. And so she's like, Tony, you have to move out. We've been divorced for 2 years. Rudy, you have to move out. Blah blah blah, and then she's going to go and create a design and start going back on the inventor train. So Rudy meets an Italian woman. I forget what her name was. Let's see if we can find her. Oh, her name is Trudy. Yeah, so I do have her up here. Meets an Italian woman who's divorced. Her husband passed away. Trudy's got some money, small amount of wealth, or decent amount of wealth. And they're going to go out on this boat. And so they go out on this boat, and even after Joy kicks out her ex-husband and her dad, there's still a good family dynamic. So again, I thought the relationship between Joy and her ex-husband was really well done in this one. The relationship between Rudy and Joy was pretty good. But I really liked the relationship, again, having the ex-husband, but there's some good friends who are supporting her, just working together. I thought it was well done for fictional characters. And so they go on this boat called the Morris, which is Trudy's late husband's boat. Tony brings red wine, and Trudy doesn't red wine because if they spill it, it's going to stain the teak wood. And so they go out on the sailboat, and of course they're all pouring the wine, and then it all they hit a wave, and they all drop their glasses, and it shatters. So Joy cleans it up with a mop and tries to wring out the mop with her hands, and then glass shards get embedded in her hands. And so the next day, that's when she comes up with the idea. Basically just a self-wringing mop. Now for the actual product, again, it said it was loosely based, pretty much a fictional story, loosely based on some woman named Joy as well. But all of the mops now today seem to have good self-wringing capabilities. So I don't know if point being is I'm not sure if this was actually based on a real product development in terms of the movie. But regardless, she draws up some ideas with crayon, and she goes to pitch it to Trudy and Rudy, and Rudy's dating Trudy. Trudy's got the money, and she's just pretty hesitant. Her late husband Morris had 4 questions, kind of random questions as to are they financially responsible? And so, based off of the crayon drawings, they can't do anything. So Joy makes a prototype. Her dad's got an auto body repair shop that her stepsister Peggy helps out at. And Peggy throughout the movie is pretty jealous, bitchy kind of character. And so she makes this prototype and shows it to Trudy and Rudy, and they agree to go along down, and they give her $15,000 to get some initial mops made. And she just goes outside this supermarket and just tries to sell them out of the back of her car. She gets arrested, or the police come and confiscate her stuff. And again, the tone of being financially unstable and the characterization I just thought was well done in this movie. And so, she's angsty and sad that the police are confiscating her goods that she owes money on, but she goes back and is kind of just like, brainstorming what can we do now? And so her ex-husband Tony has some connections to, I don't know, he can somehow get into QVC people. And so you meet Neil Walker, played by, what's this guy's name? Well-known guy. Bradley Cooper. And so Joy kind of, they go and wait in this office. They wait for a long time. The CEO guy's like, I don't know if we can see you maybe tomorrow. And then, please, please, please. And then gets in. And then she goes and pitches it to this board, like an executive suite, where they're all in their suits in big office buildings and kind of laughing at her product. She's the at-home mom trying to become the up-and-coming inventor that knows nothing about business. And so they kind of laugh and mock her for being plastic and cheap. At which point Joy's like, let me show you how it works, and takes Neil Walker into like their set where she puts a bunch of stuff on the ground and just demonstrates the efficacy of the product. At which Neil Walker's like, good, let's get 50,000 of these and we'll give you a shot. And so Joy's all excited for that. And so they get the mops made. They have this guy named Todd who is, and I thought the relationship both between Joy with her ex Tony, Joy with Neil, and Joy with Jackie, I thought were all good relationships throughout the movie. And so they get the mops made. I don't know, it costs $50,000 or whatever. They do a patent search where it's like somebody in Hong Kong owns this patent that might be loosely similar, and so that they might have to pay some royalties to this guy in Texas who has is collecting royalties based off of this patent under his umbrella company. And so Joy gets these things made, and they're all excited, and they're watching the product be developed or be sold on QVC. And so Todd butchers the pitch or the demonstration, and so they get no sales and no phone calls. So Joy's absolutely devastated. The whole family's like, what, that's it? And more resentment and jealousy from Peggy at this point, saying, Joy can't do business or whatever. And Joy basically goes back to Neil, or calls Neil and is like, you made me, I'm in a bunch of debt, I've mortgaged my house. She has to take a second mortgage for $100K. For the production run, Trudy would only do $100K if she matches $100K. So now Joy's in some, $200,000 of debt. Her house is mortgaged, so they might lose the house. And she calls back Neil. He's like, there's nothing much I can do. She goes back into the office and demands that, Joy's like, I'm the one that sold it to you, Neil. Let me be the one to sell it on TV. And so Neil's like, have you ever been on live TV before? There's bright lights. There's cameras everywhere. And so Joy goes up there to pitch. The whole family's watching it at home, and she literally starts to freeze. Like the cameras are rolling, and she's just like, thank you, Neil, after 30 seconds of saying nothing. And the lights are bright. And so she's absolutely tanking again when her friend Jackie calls in and says hey, I cut my hands on glass wringing out my mop. Well, can you tell me about that? How helping her, loosen up and get back into the sales pitch. And she also did the same type of thing in the parking lot singing when they're selling it just outside of a Walmart or whatever. And so Jackie kind of helps her friend Joy get back into the groove of the sales pitch, and she goes on to crush it. And they sell, when Joy first goes into QVC, they're selling a product, they sell 30,000 of them, and they're all hyped. And she sells 47,000 or 50,000 on her first go. And so they're super, super excited that it's selling that well. And they do it a couple, little fast forward scene where she's selling it a couple times. And so at which point, Mimi, she passes away, 70% through the movie. So Joy comes home from selling one day at QVC and finds her grandmother dead or almost dead. And they go to the funeral, at which point Joy and Rudy are talking about the sales numbers or whatever. And he's like, I sent a representative to Texas to pay these royalties that you owe or something. And so he had sent Peggy, and Joy's not happy about that because, again, Peggy wants to pitch ideas throughout the movie. She's a really bitter and jealous character. And obviously a character, but off-putting in the movie as well. Regardless, also, I guess before even you also meet this Toussaint. He's this French Haitian Creole dude who comes and he kind of starts dating
the mom of Peggy throughout the movie. Minor role, but that's also in there. And so once he pays this royalty, Joy then gets on a plane and goes out to California to meet these people. They're very off-putting. They have this a front guy, and she's like, can I see this guy? Talk to this guy, and he's like, he's not here, not available. And she's like, oh wait, and they're all kind of like off-putting or just like not very receptive to Joy showing up. She asks to use the bathroom, kind of like sneaks into their production area and sees that they have this patent. They're basically stealing the molds and her design and trying to take it for themselves. And so she gets arrested there, and then she flies out to find this guy in Texas. Shows up to this building, and before this she files for bankruptcy. Well, I guess we don't get there quite yet, but no we do. So there's a scene before she flies out down to Texas where basically because Peggy had paid these royalties to this dude without Joy's acknowledgement or authority, it had somehow made it invalid to some sort of, I didn't follow the business there, it's like paid back false royalties to somebody as if it's like a mission of like truth, I guess, where it's like she owes that to him or something. But regardless, she has to her dad and Trudy make her sign for bankruptcy. And then she goes down to Texas. I think this is somewhere in Pennsylvania, like the setting of the movie. Flies down to Texas, meets this dude, I forget his name, maybe Markham, maybe. But regardless, she had called the people that owned the patent that this Markham dude is collecting royalties for in Hong Kong, and learns that they had not produced or published or made any of these mops, and that the similarities of the design patent, again, I made a whole video about the different types of patenting, and so the design wasn't close enough for Joy to owe Markham any royalties whatsoever. So she gets paid back the $50,000 that she had given him in advance royalties, plus another $50,000 plus interest, and she has him sign a paper saying that he has no right or legal ownership of this product or patent or anything around the design of the mop. And so she gets that signed, and as she's walking out, you get more narration from the grandma, and it's like you have some flash forward scenes to Joy has now become a huge successful businesswoman. And so she's got this big house. Her sister Peggy and Rudy and Trudy had sued her wrongfully. They don't really give any more information on that. That's just what they say. Jackie and her ex-husband Tony are still her assistants and advisors. And she's just, pitching. She's taking pitches from other up-and-coming. Someone comes in that's a waitress and has like a pet hair removal design. And, she sets them up in the Radisson, gets them a nice hotel, and it's going to help, the next generation of entrepreneurs move on and up in the world. And so that's kind of the finishing scene. She's helping people. She has one more meeting with Neil Walker, who's basically like, HSN's now the big sales thing, or someone's going to come try to buy her, and she's going to, have a bit more big success or something. And so that happens, and then you have one more scene flashback to when she's just walking down the street all proud that she's got this resolution from this Markham dude in Texas. So that's really the finale of the movie. Again, I thought it was just a good redemption story or success story, again, completely fictional or 50% fictional, loosely based on a real story. But I think the director just said it was like based on women who inspired him. So major themes in starting a business. There's a line in there when she has this emotional breakdown about, I think having to go into bankruptcy in front of her daughter and with her family. She says something to the effect of, the world doesn't give you any opportunities to just take it all away. Which is completely fucking true. All of my opportunities I have ever worked for have been destroyed. And so just, again, as someone who's watched Shark Tank his entire life, and then I know the fucking direct fucking shooting coach for the Dallas Mavericks, and my constitutional rights are violated to the point where I get denigrated and disrespected by my family and everybody I interact with every 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, and it resets every 2 fucking years like it never fucking happened. It's disgusting. Like, Mark Cuban is a fucking criminal and is going to go to prison. But, so that's my guy in Texas, down in Dallas, that won't pay me what I've rightfully earned and steals everything I fucking do. After I send him fucking intellectual property that 100% affects your behavior and investment perspectives. 100 fucking percent. But that's the real fucking business world. Scumbag after scumbag after fucking scumbag. If I ever become somebody, I'm gonna motherfucking bury you people. Because everything I've ever worked for has absolutely been fucking stolen. So that scene in there was very true when all of the family is completely unsupportive and disrespects everything you've ever done. That is, I've experienced that, you know, I don't know, today. And so, again, with a math proof, with a developed math subject sitting on the fucking internet, with 14 albums of music sitting on the fucking internet, with a bar and restaurant that's going to do $500,000 in revenue this year, or last year, or whatever, sitting on the internet, an alcohol company valued at $4 million 4 years ago that I can't sell because of fraud. Like, there's just so much fraud. I'm the most prolific victim of crime, literally ever. The theft of my intellectual property is being stolen and distributed, and people have come to my house and said we can do basically whatever the fuck we want. And then they mock me, disrespect me, and treat me like a fucking diseased animal. And so I have no identity, I have no integrity, I have no sense of self. I am just a fucking dirty piece of shit that can't get his feet underneath of him because of crime. Then people blame the victim. And so I hate the fucking business world. Anybody in one of my professional lanes, you are going to be sued and criminally prosecuted as much as I possibly can. I don't want your money, I want your life fucking ruined like you've ruined mine. And we need to change behavior. We need to punish people that don't know how to fucking behave. Step one is to change your behavior. Clearly nobody will do that, so punish them. No exceptions, absolutely none. So I enjoyed this movie. I continue to be tortured, to the denigrated, disrespected, and neglected to the point of literal torture. Nobody gives a single fuck. The instant I offend them, they're going to punish me to any level they can, and it has happened every time I've dealt with anybody for the continuous 22 years of my life. And so, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.